Have you ever felt completely alone, even in a crowded room? Do you ever wonder if the people you call friends would still stand by you if you had nothing to offer? If you've asked yourself these questions, you're not alone, and that's exactly why this message is for you. In a world obsessed with connection, the Stoics offer a radically different idea, that true companionship begins with self-reliance. Before we dive into the truth about relationships and self-worth, make sure to subscribe and join a community focused on clarity, strength, and inner peace. 1. The illusion of care, when appearances lie. There's a painful truth that life eventually reveals to everyone. Not everyone who smiles with you stands with you. In fact, many people wear the mask of concern, friendship, or loyalty when it's convenient. But that mask slips off the moment it costs them something. What we often interpret as care may actually be habit, politeness, or mere convenience. And this is where most emotional suffering begins, when we confuse proximity with connection, politeness with loyalty, and surface-level interaction with depth. The Stoics, with their penetrating insight into human behavior, warned against attaching deep expectations to shallow relationships. When a person does not show up in your darkest hour, said Epictetus, they never belonged in your light. The wisdom here isn't bitterness, it's clarity. It's about seeing reality without illusions and adjusting your emotional investments accordingly. We all know this scenario. Things are going well, you're succeeding, you're fun to be around. Your phone lights up, invitations roll in, compliments flow freely. But when life takes a turn, when you're laid off, emotionally down, struggling silently, those same people disappear like fog in sunlight. Suddenly, they're busy, unresponsive, distant, and it stings. But the Stoics would say it only stings because we allowed it to. We expected what they were never equipped to give. The error isn't in others disappointing us. The error lies in our assumption that everyone who smiles is a friend, everyone who listens is loyal, and everyone who appears to care truly does. People often perform care because it serves their image or social norm, not because it emerges from genuine love or virtue. That's why Stoicism doesn't ask us to be cynical, but to be discerning. Seneca, one of the most eloquent Stoics, reminds us, "You must consider whether those you count as friends are actually worthy of that title, or whether they are merely acquaintances flattered by the title of friendship." Harsh words, perhaps, but liberating. When we stop expecting depth from shallow waters, we stop drowning in disappointment. We can finally breathe. This doesn't mean isolating ourselves or becoming emotionally numb. It means calibrating our expectations. It means learning to read behavior rather than believing words. It means asking ourselves, who shows up without being asked? Who supports me even when there's nothing to gain? Who corrects me out of love, not judgment? True friendship is rare. The rest is noise. The Stoics understood that we waste enormous, emotional energy mourning the absence of people who were never truly present. We hurt because we believed the illusion, and we suffer because we expected the illusion to become real. But once we learn to see clearly, we stop placing our emotional well-being in the hands of those who treat it carelessly. Let that be your freedom, not anger, not resentment, but clarity. The illusion of care falls apart under scrutiny. What remains is the truth, and the truth will always hurt less than the lie we told ourselves. 2. Redefining friendship, depth over duration. We live in a world that glorifies longevity, how long you've known someone, how many years you've been friends, how far back your history goes. But the truth is, time means nothing if the bond is shallow. A stranger who sees you clearly can sometimes be more of a friend than someone you've known for decades, who only sees a version of you that serves their comfort. Seneca's wisdom echoes through time. Associate with people who are likely to improve you, not people who flatter you, not people who validate your every flaw, but people who challenge you to grow, who see your potential even when you don't. The Stoic path is not one of ease, but one of elevation, and a real friend is a fellow traveler on that path, not someone who distracts you from it. Most people surround themselves with comfort, familiar faces, familiar habits, people who keep them the same. But growth is painful, growth is uncomfortable, and someone who truly cares about your evolution will not always be nice. They will tell you the hard truths. They will call out your blind spots. They will push you not because they enjoy your struggle, but because they believe in your strength. This is the kind of friendship Stoicism calls us to cultivate. Not long-term, but long-deep. It's not about the calendar, it's about character. If someone makes you better, supports your virtues and walks with integrity, they're more valuable than 100 old friends who enable your stagnation. Think of it like this. Would you rather have a lifelong friend who cheers you on as you destroy yourself with bad decisions, or a newer friend who confronts you, challenges you, and helps you transform? The answer reveals your priorities. We must learn to prioritize harmony over history. Does this person align with your values? Do they live by principle? Do they call out your excuses or co-sign them? A real friend doesn't always agree with you, but they never stop believing in your best self. And here's a vital Stoic insight. Sometimes, the people who help us grow the most are the ones who enter our lives briefly. A teacher, a mentor, a stranger who offers a sharp truth. Their presence may be short, but their impact is deep. Don't dismiss the temporary just because it's not familiar. Don't overvalue the long term just because it's comfortable. In the end, redefining friendship is about courage. The courage to let go of people who no longer resonate with who you are becoming. The courage to seek out those who elevate you. And the courage to stand alone rather than shrink to fit a crowd that no longer reflects your values. 3. Expectation is a trap. Free yourself. Expectation is the silent thief of peace. We walk through life carrying invisible scorecards, expecting people to behave a certain way, remember important dates, show up during hard times, validate our feelings, applaud our success. But people are not actors in a script we've written in our heads. They are flawed, distracted, busy, and often caught up in their own lives. The moment we expect them to play a role in our emotional stability, we give away our power. This is where the Stoics offer profound freedom. They teach us not to depend on others for our peace. If someone forgets your birthday, it's not betrayal. If a friend doesn't check in when you're low, it's not sabotage. It's reality, and reality, though sometimes disappointing, is neutral. The pain comes from our interpretation of it. When we expect loyalty, validation, or attentiveness from those who are not capable or willing to provide it, we set ourselves up for suffering. The Stoic mindset reframes this. Stop outsourcing your inner calm. Take ownership of your emotional weather. Think of it like this. If your peace is dependent on others remembering, approving, or applauding, you've built your emotional home on unstable ground. One disappointment can send it all crashing down. But when your peace is built on self-respect, clarity, and internal discipline, it becomes unshakable. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This applies directly to our relationships. You cannot control who shows up, who stays, or who loves you the way you wish to be loved. But you can control how you respond, how you interpret, and how much access you allow. Here's a radical idea. Release others from your expectations. Let people be who they are, not who you wish them to be. Observe their behavior, not their words. Accept the data. If someone consistently overlooks your needs, that's who they are. Adjust your boundaries. If someone supports you once in a while but disappears when you truly need help, that's their capacity. Don't argue with reality. Adapt to it. And most importantly, don't tie your self-worth to how others treat you. That is your job, not theirs. You decide your value. You affirm your own journey. You validate your dreams. The moment you stop, waiting for others to reflect your worth is the moment you become truly free. In summary, expectation is not just a trap, it's a form of self-betrayal. When we burden others with our emotional needs, we hand over the keys to our inner kingdom. But Stoicism hands them back to us. Your peace, your stability, your joy, these are within your control. Own them, guard them, and be free. 4. Detachment, strength, not coldness. Emotional detachment often gets misunderstood. People think it means apathy or shutting down, as if you must stop caring in order to stop hurting. But that's not what real detachment is. True, emotional. Detachment is not about becoming a stone. It's about becoming steady. It's not the absence of feeling. It's the mastery of it. The Stoic doesn't suppress emotion. The Stoic refines their relationship with it. When joy comes, they welcome it without clinging. When pain arrives, they acknowledge it without collapsing. It's not about pretending you're unaffected, it's about refusing to be consumed. You still feel deeply. But you don't get dragged by your feelings like a leaf in the wind. Instead, you hold your ground. You let emotions pass through you like waves brushing against a rock. You observe them, understand them, and respond deliberately, not impulsively. The problem isn't the feeling itself, it's the story we attach to it. Pain visits, yes. But detachment means you don't build it a home. You don't decorate the walls of your mind with resentment or bitterness. You don't replay the hurt like a broken record. Instead, you recognize the emotion, extract the lesson, and let it go. This doesn't mean you're cold. On the contrary, detachment allows you to love more purely, without possession, expectation, or control. It frees you from needing people to behave a certain way to feel at peace. It unhooks your well-being from external validation. You begin to love people for who they are, not for what they give you. Imagine being able to listen to criticism without shrinking, to face failure without spiraling, to be betrayed without becoming vengeful. That is the power of detachment. It is the choice to remain centered when everything around you pulls for your reaction. It is calm in the middle of chaos, strength in the middle of sorrow. The Stoic doesn't become the suffering they observe. They learn from it, they grow from it, and because they are not entangled by every emotional thread, they remain available to themselves and others with clarity and compassion. Detachment gives you space. Space to think. Space to respond instead of react. Space to heal without needing anyone's permission. You stop trying to fix or force things. You stop attaching your identity to outcomes, people, or pain, and in doing so, you return to yourself. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Detachment is how you break that loop. It's how you stop reliving things that already happened or fearing things that haven't. It is the gatekeeper of your peace. You begin to realize not everything needs your energy. Not every conflict is yours to resolve. Not every emotion deserves your full attention. Some things are better observed than absorbed. Detachment is not isolation, it's discernment. You don't disconnect to run away, you detach to move forward. And what you gain is far greater than what you let go of: clarity, composure, resilience. That is not indifference, that is wisdom. 5. Solitude, energy, and the power of saying no. Solitude isn't loneliness, it's leadership. In a world that bombards you with noise, opinions, and endless demands, solitude becomes sacred. It's not a retreat from life. It's a return to yourself. It's where clarity sharpens, where distractions fade, and where you begin to hear your own voice clearly, steadily, without interference. The Stoic embraces solitude, not because they fear others, but because they value alignment. Time alone isn't empty, it's fertile ground for thought, reflection, and renewal. In silence, you can interrogate your motives, reset your direction, and recalibrate your energy. And from that silence, a deeper truth emerges. Your time is not infinite, and your energy is not free. Every yes you give to the world is a no to yourself, unless that yes is chosen with care. Without discernment, you'll become a people pleaser. You'll scatter your energy chasing obligations that don't serve your purpose. You'll burn out trying to be everything for everyone. But the Stoic knows better. Boundaries aren't barriers. They're bridges back to your integrity. When you say no, you are not rejecting the person. You are protecting the person you are becoming. You are choosing direction over distraction. You are declaring that your energy is worth guarding. So ask yourself, is this draining me or building me? That question can change your life. It can save you years of exhaustion. It can help you walk away from relationships that feed on your kindness, but never nourish your growth. It can help you quit projects that consume your time, but add no value to your mission. Your attention is currency. Spend it like your life depends on it, because it does. Every hour you give away carelessly is an hour stolen from your own progress, and you don't get that time back. The Stoic doesn't chase popularity. They don't dilute themselves for approval. They understand that applause fades, but alignment endures. What good is being liked if it costs you your peace? What good is being everywhere if you are nowhere truly? True strength is found in boundaries, not burnout, in choosing rest over performance, in choosing stillness over spectacle, in choosing intention over impulse. The more you say no to what doesn't align, the more powerful your yes becomes. It carries weight. It reflects clarity. It signals that your energy is not scattered, it's focused. And focus is power. Don't fear being alone. Fear being disconnected from yourself. Don't fear disappointing others. Fear abandoning your values. Don't fear missing out. Fear wasting your energy on things that don't matter. Solitude is your sanctuary, your laboratory, your forge. It's where ideas are born and illusions die. It's where you learn who you are without the noise of the world trying to define you. When you operate from that place, your actions are cleaner, your words are truer, your boundaries are firmer, and your path, though quieter, is more aligned. This is the paradox. The more you embrace solitude, the more powerfully you show up in the world. Not out of obligation, but out of overflow. And that is the essence of Stoic living. Not to be everywhere, but to be fully where you are. Not to say yes to everything, but to say yes to what truly matters. Not to win the crowd, but to win back. Your focus, integrity will carry you through any storm. Say no, not from fear, but from wisdom. Say yes, not from pressure, but from purpose. And in that space between solitude and strength, you'll discover the truest version of yourself. Walk alone, stand tall. When you stop chasing universal approval, something powerful happens. You come home to yourself. The Stoics didn't walk the easy path, but they walked the authentic one. That path may be narrow, it may be quiet, but it leads somewhere no crowd can take you, to your highest self. So reflect, refocus, reclaim your power. And if you found value in this message, subscribe, share, and remember, it's better to walk alone in truth than be surrounded by those who keep you from it. Until next time, stand tall and stay true.